Hey gang, it's JC and this is the Daily Dose for Monday, April 25th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. Great archives at the top of the page with our video village and our Wayback Machine and some very amazing pictures from the Friday night storm on our eye candy feature right below what you're looking at here right now. Well, what do you say? So Triple C and I were way out in the Chesterfield Valley Friday night when the storms were passing through, and everybody was drinking and eating and having a good time and listening to music, and I was on the iPhone watching the radar and trying to get people interested in the fact that it looked like something monstrous was approaching the St. Louis area. And when people are eating and drinking and having a good old time and you know they're just sort of dead to the rest of the world, I was sort of like, guys, I really think we ought to be watching this thing because this thing is close enough to us. It doesn't look like it's coming for us. We're far enough south of where the storm is, but man, there's a lot of bad stuff out there. Maybe we should be paying more attention to that. And I wasn't really, getting anywhere with all that. So it wasn't until we got back home at 9:30 that the real devastation level of things became apparent. But it was pretty amazing. But I have to tell you something. There was wall-to-wall coverage all weekend. By the way, thanks Channel 4 for, I sit there all week long just waiting for Sunday morning to be able to watch Sunday Morning on CBS. Comes on at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning, and I love the show, and I look forward to it every week. And of course, they've felt compelled to continue to show us the same video we've been looking at for 36 hours. There wasn't anything new. There weren't any real news stories. There was no new angle. Kept giving us helicopter shots of the same overturned SUV in the driveway and the same devastated neighborhood. And, it would have been nice to just for 90 minutes to be able to watch our TV show. But that's neither here nor there. Here's the question that I don't understand. And reporters, wall-to-wall coverage all weekend long. Reporters out there, and again, I cut these people a little break because a lot of them were working around the clock, didn't really have any time to sort of recharge, get a shower, change clothes, something to eat. They were working these people like dogs, so I do cut them a little bit of a break. That having been said, somebody somewhere really dropped the ball on this, because here's the question that I still don't have an answer to. You're out at the airport and you have the most sophisticated radar and navigational equipment on Earth at the airport because you have to. And the one most obvious question that one reporter asked all weekend is the one that I'm still waiting for an answer for. And that is, how come out at the airport those people who were, in the terminal had no idea what was coming? Why hasn't anybody asked that question? And how come the airport hasn't had an explanation for the fact that you had people walking around a glass building? Those terminals are just made like mobile homes. It's just prefab stuff slapped together, a lot of glass, and it's tempered glass, I understand that, so it's not like, if my window breaks and it's just going to be a big glass shard flying around. But nonetheless, airport terminals are not really, expensive outfits there. And you got all that stuff flying around, and those people had no idea that there was a tornado bearing down on them, and I want to know why. And I also want to know why Highway 270 was basically shut down for the better part of 7 hours. This wasn't a terrorist attack. It wasn't a widespread storm. It was actually a storm that was fairly confined in terms of, if you look at a map of St. Louis and you look at the affected area, and yet we had one of our major thoroughfares, arguably our most traveled thoroughfare in St. Louis, shut down for 7 hours? Are you kidding me? What chance do we stand around here if there's an actual tragedy, if there's something more widespread? I used to make fun of the survivalists, and now I don't make fun of them anymore because, as we have seen, the government, especially at a local level, seems woefully unprepared and inadequate to take care of people when there is even a tragedy confined to a relatively small area. It's just unbelievable, and it doesn't bode well for our future, because we know terrorist attacks on a more widespread basis are going to end up happening at some point, and I ain't encouraged by what I see in terms of local municipalities being able to handle things. But I still don't understand that question not being asked. You have all that coverage all weekend long, and nobody says, how come these people out at the airport had no idea what was bearing down on them? I don't get it. All right, so what else here? Turn your headlights on when there's a storm. We're driving yesterday afternoon. There's just sheets of rain coming down. Visibility is crap. And people are driving along. Windshield wipers are on. There's laws in Missouri and Illinois that make it illegal for you to have your windshield wipers on and not have your headlights on. You know, maybe down in Rock Hill, in the speed trap that they have down there, instead of just waiting for people to go 31 and a 30, maybe, you know, maybe you could actually arrest people and hand out some tickets for something that actually is a concern. And that is people driving around without headlights on in the middle of a blinding rainstorm. Just a thought out there in Rock Hill. You know, and the other thing about the storm is the religious implications. And I'm not going to get into this now because it would be completely inappropriate to have this discussion right now with so many people's lives adversely affected. You've got, you know, a couple of thousand people whose lives are... my mother-in-law, we had to go out on Saturday morning and take her to the generator. You know, she's not far from the area in Bridgeton and Maryland Heights where the storm hit. And she hadn't had any power since Saturday night, so we took the generator out there. People next door to her got a tree that went crashing right into the top of their house. They've been staying in a hotel. And so, you know, probably going to be a couple of days before the power comes back on. So we'll see. Also, we'll see if that line that you call, you know, you call that number at the power company and they say, okay, we'll have your power back on tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Because we all know how that went in the last two big storms that lasted, you know, 5 or 6 days. Carrot on a stick, I'll leave it at that. But, you know, the religious implications. And again, I'm not going to have this conversation now. We'll have it at the appropriate time somewhere down the line. But you know that if it were the other way around, because it was Good Friday, you know, and the storm took the roofs off of several churches. There was one outfit sitting there watching The Passion of the Christ with psycho Mel Gibson. And the storm came by and just destroyed the church. Because you know that if a tornado blew the roof off the Scott Trade Center during an Ozzy Osbourne concert, you know what people would say. And don't get on me about this because you started it. And when I say you, I'm talking about the people on the TV stations. You guys have already started with the religious implications in this whole thing, talking about all the God stories and, you know, people. I'm not going to be drawn into this now. We'll have this discussion some other time. But I'm telling you, you guys in the media, you started with the religious implications in this thing, and I'm just telling you, if it was the other way around, if there was, you know, some rock and roll band that, you know, had been rumored to have been involved in some sort of satanic worship somewhere down the line, and you know, they were doing a show out of Riverport, and a storm came through and a tornado blew everybody to bits, you know what people would say. But we'll have this conversation some other time. But in the meantime, turn your damn headlights on. All right. I'm tired of talking about the storm. I just want to hit a couple of quick things here. Simon Cowell says Paula Abdul is going to be one of the judges in the X Factor. They say they're going to make that announcement within the week. The Paul Reiser Show on NBC comes out 2 weeks ago. It's already been canceled. The premiere was the lowest rated mid-season comedy premiere in the history of the NBC television network. It's being replaced by repeats of The Office. The royal wedding finally coming up this weekend. Thank God, get it over with. Mr. Bean was invited to the wedding. How special could it be? $34 million wedding. 34 mil. 32 million on security alone. The gown, $434,000. The wedding ring only worth $11,000. I paid more for Triple C's wedding ring than he paid, but she already got the $1 million Princess Diana ring, so she's set. Charlie Sheen down to one goddess. Brie Olson, the porno star, has dumped him via text, so that leaves 24-year-old Natalie Kenley with nobody to make out with on stage. Ford just finished a global survey of people's preference in car colors. Apparently the American auto industry is back to wasting money on stupid surveys like this. Anyhow, they found that gray and silver are big in New York and LA. White is popular in San Francisco. Boston likes black. Midwest, we like red. And Phoenix and Miami like orange and gold. Isn't that odd that depending on your geographic location, that determines your preference in car color? Men, by the way, more generous drivers than women. I wouldn't have guessed this. Researchers found that on a busy street, there's a 42% chance that a male driver will let you merge versus 37% chance of a female driver letting you in. I got to tell you, I'm surprised by that. Group of celebrity websites pooled their resources, came up with the 30 hottest Jewish women under 40. On the list, at number 10, Leah Michele from Glee. Evan Rachel Wood at 7. Emmy Rossum at 6. Scarlett Johansson, yeah, buddy, at number 5. Elizabeth Banks at 4. Bar Raffelli at number 3. And number 1 on the list, here we go again. Too skinny bag of bones. Natalie Portman. She's beautiful and classy and a good actress, and I love her despite that black swan black mark on her resume. But come on, give me a girl a little meat on their bones. New dating service that matches people with herpes. I thought that was called Craigslist. And birthdaying today, our buddy Joe Buck, who is 42 years old. Happy birthday, Big Joe. All right, that's it. Got a lot of people hurting in this community. A lot of people hurting, and a lot of people whose lives are going to be permanently scarred because of all this. It's like you can rebuild your house and you can get some of your stuff replaced. But there's just an awful lot of people for whom life will never be the same around here. We want to be sensitive to that. We're going to be talking about that on the air on the Big 550 KTRS along with Trish Gazelle every day from 10 in the morning until 1. This will be a discussion we're going to be having for a long time. Lots of various aspects to this story that will be continuing on for quite some time. So anyhow, that's it. JC's Daily Dose for Monday, April 25th, 2011. Oh, I forgot eye candy. You know, Bill Greenblatt, our friend who's the UPI photojournalist, he just always seems to be in the right place at the right time, and we've been bombarded with images from the storm on Friday night, but there's 5 photographs that Bill Greenblatt took that I think really sort of sum up the aftermath of what went on at the airport just right after the storm went through, before they had a chance to really do any cleaning up. And we put 5 of those pictures up, and it's right below what you're looking at right now on eye candy, so go check it out. All right, JC's Daily Dose for Monday, April 25th, 2011, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Brentwood. And in the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.